One of the most important mental toughness lessons that you have to learn, I believe, if you're going to go to the world-class level in any performance field, is learning to forgive yourself. Now, it may seem counterintuitive. You think mental toughness, well, that's tough, right? Well, mental toughness is contextual. It means tough in the sense of emotional control, and learning to forgive yourself is a part of emotional control. I learned this as a child. When I was 6 years old, I was tapped by one of the top coaches in America to be a professional tennis player, and I was groomed and trained from the time I was 6 years old to the time I was 22 to be a professional tennis player. And in the early years, from the time I was 6 to about the time I was 10, there were only a couple people in America who could beat me that were my age. And as I got a little bit older, my desire waned a little bit in terms of practice and that type of thing. I still practiced hard, but not as hard as I did before. I didn't want it as much. It started to become kind of like a job. And all of a sudden I started to lose a little bit, which I really wasn't used to. And all of a sudden the coaches, family members, other parents of my parents of other players started to sort of have comments about every shot that I missed and every game that I lost and every point that I should have won. And of course they were just trying to help me. It wasn't like an abusive thing. It's just that all of a sudden pressure was coming in from all angles, or so it felt to a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old. And I used to go home from the tournaments. When you win, no problem. When you lose, then all of a sudden everyone was weighing in, including at that point the press, local press, but still press. And the pressure just mounted and mounted and mounted to the point where I just simply didn't want to play anymore. I wanted to go out and ride my bike like other kids, but the thing that I didn't realize, the skill that I didn't realize I was building, one of them was learning to forgive myself, because I learned after a few years to go into my room in the house when everyone had their opinion, everyone weighed in on what I should have done to win, and I learned to sit there, forgive myself, and to go over the match in my mind and think, I did the best I could. Did I make some bad decisions? Yeah, I really did. You always do in tennis. It's a solitary game. You're on your own. There's no team behind you. And that's why tennis players, I believe, and golfers and athletes in other solitary sports are the most mentally tough, because we can't rely on anyone. And we don't play for a team, we play for ourselves. And when you win, it's fine. And when you lose, the whole world seems to come crashing down. And so you want to learn to let go. And the only way I could continue to play tennis all the way up until I made it to the pros, and minor league pros, but still the pros, was to forgive myself. It's one of the most important things you can learn as an entrepreneur, as a career person, as a business person, as a father, as a mother, really just in life. You're gonna make mistakes, we all do. Welcome to being human. If you don't forgive yourself, all this guilt, all these negative feelings start to build up. And it happens, I believe, to most people. I don't believe most people know how to forgive themselves. That's why therapists are so busy. And I'm not putting down anyone that takes therapy, because I think it's a wonderful thing. But if you can kind of be your own therapist, if you need one, get therapy, of course. But be your own therapist, become your own best friend, and say, you know what, I did the best I could. Yes, I made mistakes, but that was the best decision I could have made at the time based on the information I had, and maybe it was poor, but I did the best I could. Entrepreneurs, I get this from entrepreneurs all the time. They say, well, Steve, I quit my 6-figure career and I started a business and I failed. You know what? I feel for you, because I failed in business as well. Welcome to the club. You're in very, very elite company, because most of us entrepreneurs that have become successful at whatever level have failed multiple times. Matter of fact, we fail our way to success. The difference between the entrepreneur that goes on to success, or the business person at some level that goes on to success eventually after failing, is we don't beat ourselves up, or we don't continue to beat ourselves up week after week, month after month, year after year. You can't, because you'll quit eventually. No one wants to feel bad all the time. And if you can't forgive yourself, you're going to feel bad about making mistakes or failing all the time. And it is not psychologically sustainable. So how do you forgive yourself? You literally just say to yourself, you did the best you could. You'll try to do better next time, but you're only human. And as long as you're in the game, whether it's business, life, being a parent, sports, you're going to make mistakes. There's just so many decisions that you have to make on a regular basis that some of them are not going to be very good and some of them are going to be bad. You got to forgive yourself. If you don't, you'll quit. Whether it's sports, business, parenting, you can't quit. But you're going to feel bad all the time. And the great performers, especially the solitary performers, they learn to let it go. You have to let yourself off the hook. Do the best you can. And then let the chips fall where they may. And if they don't fall in the right direction, let it go. Forgive yourself. You'll live to fight another day. And not only that, but you'll feel good about it.